we shook hands, and I just knew, kind of, when I met her, I was like, this is a woman who, she just commanded a power. Nothing romantic was said, you know, between that day and the day that we got engaged. Nothing romantic was said at all. You know, there was no
peaceful,
quiet. Yeah, nothing
year,
happened.
No changes. Everything's been copacetic.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Anything happens to me, blame the Zionists. Like 1000% blame.
Candace Owens' husband filing for divorce didn't just happen. The timing matches everything she's been posting lately. She's claiming the French government, Israeli operatives, and U.S. agencies approved her assassination, and she's saying it like she's dead serious.
Why would you allow your wife to be put in that position? I would never put my wife in that position, not for social media, not for money, not for anything.
One of the donors to Turning Point USA was telling him it would be very bad for my brand. And that really stuck with me. That one of the donors said, it would be very bad for your brand for you to like not marry a black guy from the projects or something like that.
Has really plateaued and sort of reached their peak. I think a lot of influencers in the US are actually on a journey of self-discovery.
She's dropping names, showing what she calls proof, and acting like she's holding evidence that could shake governments if anything happens to her. And the story only gets wilder.
And to share that information, as Kanye sent me all the messages of people who were threatening him, I have them all, to information share with Max Blumenthal, with people, people all over.
It's Erica Kirk, his wife. I mean, you have to be cruel and demonic to insinuate the things that she has insinuated over the past several weeks. She's evil. At some point, her husband is gonna have to walk into that podcast room and start unplugging cords. I mean, by now I would have already done it if it was my wife.
Judaism is a faith. Israel is a state, and it is not above critique. And that what Bibi Netanyahu has done to the Palestinians since October 7th is a...
Before the divorce even hit the blogs, Candace said a French government insider told her Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron allegedly paid a GIGN hit squad to take her out. She says the source revealed their identity, showed documents, and said an Israeli operative was involved. Then she tied it to Charlie Kirk, saying he supposedly trained with the French Legion's 13th Brigade and hinting at a bigger international operation. And when people thought she was reaching, a whistleblower email leaked. She read it out loud, saying the FBI, Secret Service, and DEA supposedly knew something about this plot linked to Charlie Kirk's death. Candace says Charlie uncovered something, and it cost him his life. That alone had people tense, but the divorce timing made everything look even stranger.
Email, that checks out. Yeah, Secret Service, the FBI, the DEA being involved, why this plane found something out and it cost him his life. That's the truth. You were born a man and you will die a man. That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood. Figure it out real quick. I will see you in court.
George Farmer filing those papers right when her week blew up is suspicious. Instead of standing with her, he's allegedly stepping back while conservative media quietly confirms the split. And if you remember their rushed engagement and that odd power dynamic, it doesn't feel surprising. And that old clip hits way different now. The one where she said Charlie Kirk told her not to marry George because donors wanted her with a black guy from the projects. Hearing that today is wild. But the divorce isn't even her biggest problem. Her own political circle is turning on her fast. At a Turning Point USA event, Pastor John Amucci called her evil, demonic, and told George to make her stop in front of everybody. People there said it didn't feel spiritual at all, just anger aimed at her. And fans online were posting, "Pray for Candace Owens. The French and Israeli government want her dead." This whole thing is spinning out of control. You won't hear any of this from mainstream media. And yeah, it sounded crazy at first, until more leaks dropped. Right after Candace aired out the Macron claims, Project Veritas released messages allegedly showing Mary Barr, daughter of General William Barr, talking about blackmailing Candace to ruin her reputation. One leaked line said, "You need to blackmail her fast." Another said, "Destroy her reputation before she gets to us." Daley's team denies everything, but none of the people named have taken legal action, which feels suspicious. Then Candace doubled down again, saying, "Anything happens to me, blame the Zionist 1000%. She didn't hesitate at all. When you zoom out, it's wild. A whistleblower email naming U.S. agents claims the French government approved an assassination, alleged Israeli involvement, DOJ links, a pastor calling her demonic, and her husband walking away. That's pressure from every direction. But the part that shocked everyone was her bringing Kanye into it. She says Ye gave her a whole folder of messages and threats to release if anything ever happens to her. And when someone like Kanye tells you to hold evidence for protection, it speaks loud about the circles they're moving in. Candace has been moving in some intense circles, and right when everything else exploded, she reignited the Brigitte Macron scandal at the exact same time this lawsuit dropped. When the French First Lady sued her, Candace clapped back with, "You were born a man, and you will die a man. I will see you in court." That response alone set the internet on fire. So picture the chain of events. Candace accuses Brigitte of being transgender, Brigitte sues, Candace fires back, then a French insider allegedly claims the Macrons wanted her gone. Right after that, her husband files for divorce, a pastor calls her demonic, a DOJ-connected leak appears, she claims Israel wants her dead, and then she brings up Charlie Kirk's death. This isn't a normal political drama, it feels stacked all at once. And the detail she won't drop is her belief that Charlie wasn't taken out randomly. She keeps hinting that the same people she says are targeting her are the ones she believes silenced him, and that's the part making people uneasy. Then there's the question nobody wants to ask. Did her marriage fall apart because George realized how deep she was in, or because he already knew more than he ever said? That question is getting louder by the day. Before we get into the bigger fallout, the timing matters. George Farmer didn't leave during a quiet season. He walked away at the peak of the chaos, and he's not just some random husband. He's the son of a British baron and raised inside elite conservative circles, so his exit hitting now has everybody talking. Candace and George always moved in the same elite world, but their relationship always had this strange, almost strategic vibe to it. From getting engaged in just 17 days to George calling her someone with a power he couldn't explain, the whole thing felt more political than romantic. That old clip resurfaced where George talked about their engagement, and now people are re-watching it with a completely different mindset. He admitted they never went on real dates, never shared anything romantic, and fans are calling it straight-up recruitment energy. The way he described her made it sound more like a political merger than a marriage. And marriages built on strategy rarely survive chaos like this. So when reports leaked that George filed for divorce, people started connecting dots fast. Because if he truly believed Candace was in danger, or thought she was spiraling, wouldn't he be the first person standing beside her? Instead, he's stepping back, going cold, and letting the conservative world distance itself from her. That tells people the issue might not be the allegations, it might be the exposure. Ever since Candace started naming entire governments and intelligence circles, conservative donors have been panicking. These aren't small claims. She's accusing people with real global reach, and George's whole world depends on keeping things clean and controlled. George's whole world runs on political alliances, and he knows exactly which lines can't be crossed. Candace has been crossing them nonstop, and that's where the real tension started. The divorce papers don't mention danger or cheating, but insiders in those DC circles, the same spaces she once relied on, say George's team was uneasy with her direction for months. And this wasn't recent. It was building long before the assassination claims or leaked messages. People close to them have even said Candace stopped listening to George a while ago, making her own moves and keeping certain info from him for his protection. So when he filed for divorce, right as she's getting hit from every angle, it's hard not to think he's trying to protect his own name before things get darker. But here's the bigger problem. While their marriage collapses, the conservative world she built her career in is suddenly treating her like she's dangerous to stand next to. Candace used to be the firepower, the bold voice saying what others were scared to touch. But over the last few years, something shifted. She stopped getting invited to the big events, major figures stopped reposting her, and top donors stopped mentioning her name at all. People even noticed that Candace and Charlie Kirk were keeping a clear distance, not beefing publicly, but definitely not moving together. And when Charlie passed, conservatives pointed out how careful and restrained Candace sounded, almost like she was holding something back. Then that whistleblower email dropped, and suddenly her distance didn't look so random. But it got worse. When Pastor John called her evil at the Turning Point USA event, nobody defended her. Not leadership, not the room, nobody. The silence felt cold, like they were all waiting for someone else to say it first. And once that clip went viral, creators who used to hype her up switched sides fast, calling her unpredictable and claiming she was crossing lines that hurt the movement. That's how political machines ice someone out before fully cutting them loose. And now it's escalating. Independent journalists are reacting too. Candace even mentioned Xavier Sard, saying his life was at risk because of the same people she claims are targeting her. After that post, Xavier's name started disappearing fast. Trending pages dropped him, videos mentioning him got throttled, and it felt like platforms didn't want that connection spreading. And when politicians, religious leaders, donors, and media all pull back at the same exact time, that's not random, that's coordinated. Candace sees it, which is why she's fighting louder than ever. She's moving like she's got nothing left to lose. But things got even heavier when she doubled down on her most controversial stance yet. Before the assassination talk or divorce rumors, she said on her broadcast, "Judaism is a faith, Israel is a state," and claimed Netanyahu's actions since October 7th were a Holocaust. That line changed everything. Israel is the one topic conservatives treat like a landmine. And within hours, big creators were calling her reckless, anti-Israel, even dangerous. At that point, she was already standing on thin ice. Then she posted her claim saying if anything happened to her, blame the Zionists, and that's when everything flipped. Criticizing Israel happens every day, but tying it to a threat on her life turned it into something political that she couldn't walk back. From that moment, she wasn't seen as an influencer. She became a liability. Someone who might expose too much or connect dots with powerful people don't want to be touched. And once she said it publicly, her alliances cracked fast. But the part that really pushed this into a danger zone is how she tied everything back to Charlie Kirk's death. From the start, she wasn't just talking danger. She was linking multiple deaths, agencies, and countries into one chain. Charlie wasn't just a co-worker. She called him her little brother. And when she read that whistleblower email on camera, her tone sounded heavy, not performative. Then came the French insider claim about a formalized hit and the alleged link to someone trained with a French military brigade. That's where everything turns way darker. You got Candace saying U.S. agencies knew something days before the incident, journalists being warned to stay quiet, and her claiming she's the next target. When you line the timing up, it's way too tight to ignore. And here's the detail most people missed. The night before she posted her assassination warning, she liked a post from a conservative commentator hinting Charlie uncovered something he shouldn't have. Now people think Candace might be holding info she hasn't dropped yet, especially since she says she has verifiable documents saved in case anybody tries anything. When she says stuff like that, the whole atmosphere around her shifts. Her allies get quieter, and the smear campaigns get louder. But here's the twist, something subtle that shows how deep this might really go. Before all this, Candace was predictable. Same tone, same pacing, same style, whether you agreed with her or not. But now her messaging changed completely. She's speaking slower, picking her words carefully, and hinting non-stop about private messages and a bigger picture she won't explain. That's not normal political commentary. That's someone who feels watched. She wrote, "I don't know who in the American government can be trusted." And that's a heavy statement coming from someone who spent years defending those institutions. And when you line that up with the Project Veritas leaks showing alleged messages about wrecking her reputation, it hits even harder. Right after that, Candace started separating faith conservatives from state conservatives. And people on the wrong side know her audience is massive. That's why pastors, influencers, and commentators suddenly rebuked her, not out of disagreement, but strategic distancing. Nobody wants to stand next to whatever she's hinting at, and George clearly doesn't want that smoke either. But here's what made people wonder if she was already being warned privately. Conservative circles leak like crazy. Donors, advisors, think tank folks talk nonstop. And once she posted her claims about the Macrons, insiders started whispering fast. These weren't random voices. They were people tied to real power, and they kept repeating one thing she'd already been told to stop. Insiders say the tension in their marriage wasn't emotional, it was strategic. George didn't want his name tied to claims involving world leaders or intelligence agencies. And some sources allege Candace is holding back more info, saying she didn't reveal everything she was told, which makes it sound like she's genuinely scared. Now add pastors calling her demonic, government affiliates denying leaks, and online attacks piling up. It looks like she's being boxed in. But here's the twist. The divorce isn't the scandal. The timing is. George didn't leave during lawsuits, beefs, or political fights. He allegedly left only after she accused world leaders of trying to kill her. And that timing feels intentional. So the real question is, what does George know that made him back away right when she needed him the most? Candace has access most commentators don't. So when she says a French insider approached her, people actually believe it. If she claims she saw proof, it's possible. And if she says certain institutions knew Charlie Kirk was in danger, that doesn't sound far-fetched either. When someone with that kind of access suddenly becomes a problem, you don't silence them with debates, you isolate them. And that's exactly what's happening. Her husband stepped out, her allies backed off, pastors turned on her publicly, influencers distanced themselves, and journalists close to her went quiet. When pressure hits from every direction like that, it usually means her claims are hitting nerves somewhere. At this point, she doesn't look like someone making noise. She looks like someone who stumbled into information she wasn't supposed to see. And if that's true, George leaving might not be about loyalty. It might be straight self-preservation. All right, fam, this story is unfolding in real time. Candace is juggling political fires, a public divorce, and claims of being targeted by powerful figures, all while standing alone against the same system that once protected her. And even if half of what she's saying is real, this situation is way more serious than people want to admit. Drop your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and see you on the next one.